Of all the people out there, I never thought I'll be the one talking about it, but somebody has to, and here I am. So, from the title of this video, you must have guessed that we are going to talk about TDD or test driven development. Now, software quality is a concern, right, for any software organization out there. And there is one and only one way to ascertain the quality of the software. Can you guess that? Yes, you are right. It's testing. There is no way you can, touch, smell, or feel the software. All our sensory organ will fail in terms of ascertaining the quality of the software. There is one and only one way to do it. It's called testing. And when it comes to testing, by far I believe test driven development is only one practice which enforces testing at the unit level. And that's great. That must be done, that should be there. Because there is no other practice which enforces testing while creating the software. All other practices will say that, okay, your test should pass, you should create test cases for whatever you did, it should pass. And that's the way things happen. It doesn't enforces writing of test cases before writing your production code. But this is where there is one problem. Now, before I go ahead and talk about the problem, let me tell you that why I came to this particular conclusion. I'm a staunch supporter of TDD. I am writing test cases for pretty much all the code I write. And I teach people, encourage people to write test cases before writing the code. But you know what? I realized one thing. People say that TDD is good. But when it comes to using the TDD in their day to day code, it turns out to be difficult, including for me. And I'll be honest about it, many a times I have written my test cases after writing my production code. Okay. I made sure that, tests were written, but I end up tweaking the test first approach. And I believe most of the software developers around the world, even when they are saying that they are doing TDD, test first, they end up writing at least some part of, if not all of the production code before writing their test cases. Now, we have to be honest about it. There must be some problem because of which people are not able to do it, not able to write their test cases first. And accepting that particular problem is the key to solving this particular problem. Now, can you guess what was the reason behind people not being able to write the test first? What is the reason? Any guesses? Let me tell you. You might be surprised that the reason behind this particular thing is human imagination. Yeah, you heard it right. Now, in test first approach, what we are telling people is that you have to write test case for something which is not there yet, is not existent yet. So you write your test cases first, then write your production code, and think of this from a real world perspective. How on earth you can create test cases or testing infrastructure for something which is there in your mind vaguely, right? You have a vague idea that how you are going to implement that. And the biggest problem is when we teach TDD, we quote very simple examples like, you have to sum two number, write a test case for, summing two number, let it fail, and then you can write your production code. It all looks nice and good in case of very simple statements like this. But think about today's software development where they are developing a very complex piece of code or maybe adding or deleting a very complex piece of code. Let me tell you my own experience, and I do believe that my experience is not unique. Until and unless I go to that part of the code, preferably in a debugger mode, my mind doesn't work. I cannot imagine the solution till I am in that particular part of the solution. Somehow my mind is hardwired in such a way where I need to be in that situation, the situation where the system is, to be able to think from the system's perspective what system might be thinking at this point of time. I cannot vaguely imagine the solution there. I need to do something about it. I need to understand it. I need to, make sure that I understand what I'm trying to do. And I may end up trying 4 or 5 things before coming up with an appropriate solution. What should I do there? Should I write test cases for all the 4 or 5 things which I'm planning to do? I have no idea about how the system will behave. I have no idea that whether my test case is gonna valid or not. Or, I try a few things and then come up with an understanding, okay, this might be the solution, and then write my test case. If you are a software developer or have experience as software developer in the past, you know what I'm talking about. People might not agree to this, especially the people who are not directly involved in software development but involved in TDD and mostly talking about very simple and generalized use cases. And given a chance, I am willing to engage in constructive discussion with everyone, but I'm not here to prove anything. I'm just trying to tell you what I felt based on my experience of writing code for more than 23 years. And believe me, I am a supporter of TDD. I am a supporter of testing frameworks, and testing processes and infrastructure because of the reason I have mentioned in the beginning. So, how to solve this problem? Now, I'm not saying that write production code first and then write your test cases. I'm not saying that because then it will not be test first approach. I like test first approach, but here is what I am suggesting. I am suggesting that think of your ideas, your solutions in terms of pseudocodes. Write pseudocodes in the place where you want to write your actual code, and once you are convinced with your pseudocodes, then go ahead and write the test and come back to your pseudocodes area and write the production code. This is the simple change I am asking to do in test driven development if you are using that or plan to use that. So, in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is that instead of writing test cases based on your imagination, write test cases based on your pseudocodes because they are going to be more likely remains the same when you write your production code, and it will also give you a clear frame of understanding about what you want to do. So in the red green refactor cycle of TDD, I just want to add one step before the red part where you write the test cases. Color could be yellow, blue, anything. Since I'm wearing blue, let's consider it blue, where you are going to write pseudocodes. So TDD become 4-step process. Write a pseudocode, write failing test case, write production code, refactor if required. I do hope and believe that as a software developer, you agree with me. Thank you all. Thanks for watching. We will definitely meet again. Until the next time we meet, good day, goodbye. You take care.